So helping build leaders to be their best when it matters most. That all sounds great, Billy. But how do we as parents, as an organization, how do we know that you're going to actually be doing those things? And so for us, that then leads us to the next step. And that was this idea of we had to create guiding principles. We had to create principles that we can hold our athletes to, but also our staff to, and that we can live by. And that's what you're seeing here. So everything for us came down to, okay, we got to connect winning. So our ability to develop leaders to be the best when it matters most came down to us being able to connect beyond just winning on the field. If you think about any of your experiences in sport, I'm sure you remember some of the wins and some of the losses, and that's important to us. But at the same time, what really matters is the relationships that you develop and the experiences you have within the actual environment. So we had to say, hey, how do we put our focus into connecting with all the kids within our organization beyond what happens just on the field? And how do we use our guiding principles, which you see here, connect, to actually guide the decisions we make as an organization and how we approach training your son and the experience he has with us. So let's go through these kind of step by step. So obviously the first thing for us, the C in Connect stands for compete daily. We firmly believe winning is a skill. It's not something that just naturally happens. And so for us, how do we create environments within our practices, within our training sessions that challenge kids to step up, have to understand what it takes to go beyond what they think they're capable of and actually compete and actually put the effort and the attitude and the energy into the things that they're ultimately doing. Now, how do we talk about those things on the regular? And then we have here the O, which is this idea of outwork yesterday. Let your effort be louder than your words is the saying we like to use. You know, everything comes down to the time and energy that you put in. It really is fairly straightforward. And so how do we encourage kids, not only within the time they have with us, but in the time beyond, to put the effort that they want in, knowing what they put in is what they're ultimately going to do. From there, you'll see our non-negotiables, right? Be on time, communicate, be in control of your attitude. Those are things that kids can control or are non-negotiables within our program. So when we talk about be on time, yes, we literally mean be on time to training. We can only help your son if he's at the training environments we have set up. Well, you might be saying, well, Billy, some things come up. Sometimes we can't be on. Or is communication. Now is the time for us to work together to help challenge your son to be the leader and the adult we know he can be. Have him communicate. Things can't show up to practice, communicate via team chat. Communicate via text to us. Like that go a long way in building skills that are going to help your son beyond his time at Team Carroll. And from there, you're going to see we had more colorful language. We changed it, but no jerks. It's super straightforward. We want guys that want to be teammates. We want guys that want to help their teammates out. We want guys that want to bring everyone in and then aren't going to tear people down. You know, I'm sure you've heard the saying before, right? No energy vampires. We don't want guys just sucking the air out of the room. We want guys that want to pour into each other and actually lift their teammates up. From there, it's a nice segue. We get into this, and it's all about bringing the juice from our staff. We are here and we are together. There's an expectation that you've come prepared to get better today. Connect it back up to outwork yesterday. Bring the juice is the saying we like to use. From there, and this is, I think, one of our biggest ones. It's one of our most, maybe not as clear, but I think it's probably our most important. And that's this idea of courage. Courage to take action, courage to step up, the courage to take risks. There's all these important things. You know, we say all the time, courage trumps confidence. Coaches, people say, man, son, you got to be more confident. You got to go in and do this and do that. We firmly believe courage trumps that. Confidence is something that just ultimately happens later on by having the courage to take risks, by the preparation you put in, by the effort you put in, by the energy you put in. So how do we teach your boys how to have and take ownership in the decisions they make, but to take a step outside the comfort zone within their safe environment of training with us and actually be okay with taking risks and potentially failing? How do we as a staff accept and say, hey, that's okay, right? We're glad you did that, and we want you to continue to do that moving forward. And at the end, I talked about it already here a little bit in some of these other principles, this idea of a teammate, be a great one. Again, it's super straightforward. We want guys that want to continue to pour into each other, not think about just themselves, but are going to say, hey, this is a brother of mine, and how would I treat him? And taking ownership of, creating a team environment around things. So the quick recap is this, right? For us to help build leaders to be their best when it matters most, we need to connect with our kids beyond just winning and what happens on the field. Doesn't mean we don't care about that, but it does mean, hey, this is deeper than just doing that. We have to pour into the relationships, understanding that's where we can make the biggest impact. And our guiding principles guide the decisions we make as an organization, not only in our training environments, but in the discussions that we have on a day-to-day.